You beg God to open doors for you, but when Archangel Michael shows you the key, you walk away. He's crying over what's about to happen unless you open this now. This moment is not random. This very hour has been orchestrated by heaven, woven into the tapestry of your life with precision. You did not stumble upon this message by chance. It is not coincidence, but divine appointment. The heavens have leaned close, the Spirit has stirred, and Archangel Michael himself stands before you, holding in his hand a radiant key. That key is not ordinary. It is not a symbol of earthly metal, but a heavenly instrument, forged in the fire of God's authority, designed to unlock doors that no man can shut. This is the access you pleaded for, the answer to the cries that broke through the night when you asked, "Lord, when will my door open?" But here is the burden of heaven. God has heard. The door is already unlocked. The access point has already been revealed. Yet hesitation has become the barrier, fear has become the wall, and uncertainty has changed your steps. You asked for the opening, and now it is before you. But you hesitate, unsure, doubting, retreating. And in that hesitation, heaven grieves, for delay can be as costly as disobedience. This word is not for everyone. It is not scattered like seeds in the wind. It is aimed like an arrow, piercing straight to the heart of the one who has been pleading with God to open doors. This word is for the chosen, the one who has pressed in with tears, who has whispered in hidden places, "God, do not pass me by." If your spirit trembles as these words are spoken, know this: heaven is speaking to you now. But the condition remains. Heaven waits to see your response. Silence may be required. Obedience may be demanded. Courage will be tested. The door is open, but your next step will determine if you cross the threshold or remain on the outside. The key is in Michael's hand, but will you reach out or will you walk away? This is the urgency. This is the moment. And this message is the sound of heaven's call for you to act before it is too late. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. Hear this now. Archangel Michael stands at the threshold, his presence blazing like fire, his voice resonating like thunder in the heavens. He does not stand empty-handed. He holds in his grasp a key, a divine key forged in the authority of the Almighty, and that key belongs to you. This is not an abstract symbol, not a poetic image. It is the spiritual reality of access, breakthrough, and protection that has already been released into your life. The door has been opened, but the decision to step forward still rests upon you. Heaven is watching. The earth is trembling. Time itself bends in this moment, and the command goes forth. Do not delay. Michael stands ready, but his countenance is marked with tears. Why does the warrior of heaven weep? Why would the captain of the angel armies cry? Because he sees what you do not. He sees how heaven has already answered, but fear is whispering hesitation. He sees how breakthrough has been released, but doubt is dragging your feet. He sees how prayers have been heard, but your heart trembles on the edge of retreat. This is why he grieves, because the door is not locked. It is you who are waiting. And in waiting, you risk missing the divine hour that has already come. Do you not hear it? The sound of urgency in the spirit realm? By the next sunrise, a shift will begin. By the next dawn, heaven's clock will move forward, with or without your obedience. This is why the message has come to you as a divine interruption, piercing through your distractions, silencing every other voice, pulling your attention with holy force. It is not for everyone. It is not scattered across the multitudes. It is for you, the one crying out in hidden places, the one who said, "Lord, open the door for me or I cannot go on." Heaven has responded. Michael is sent. The key is revealed. Yet here is the burden of this moment. The door is unlocked, but it will not swing open unless you step forward. It waits for your hand, your choice, your courage. The enemy cannot close it, for heaven has already declared it open. The adversary cannot bar it, for Michael has already loosed the chains. But hesitation is the silent thief. Hesitation is the invisible chain. And heaven's tears flow, because the chosen one stands before the miracle yet trembles to believe. Hear me well. This is not coincidence. This is not random. This is not the echo of your own thoughts. This is heaven's voice calling you to step through the open door. If you will obey, the release will be immediate. If you will silence fear, the breakthrough will be undeniable. If you will trust, the key in Michael's hand will turn and the way will be cleared. Heaven's eyes are upon you. Michael's hand is extended toward you, and the choice is in front of you now. Delay no longer. Take amen to get blessings 1414. There is a weight pressing in this moment, a holy disturbance that refuses to be ignored. You asked heaven to answer, and heaven has answered, but now your heart trembles with unrest. Can you feel it? The unease that whispers questions in the silence of your thoughts. The stirring that tells you something is about to shift, yet something unseen resists. This is not imagination. This is not a passing feeling. This is the clash between heaven's release and the shadows that hope you will remain still, uncertain and unmoved. Unseen forces linger at the edges of your destiny. They are watchers, not protectors. They observe the open door, but they tremble because they cannot close it. So instead, they whisper doubt into your spirit. They plant hesitation in your mind. They murmur lies. What if this isn't the right time? What if you fail? What if this key leads to nothing? And while heaven has declared your breakthrough, these unseen whispers hope you will paralyze yourself with fear. They cannot take the blessing from you, but they hope you will lay it down yourself. And yet, here is the mystery that unsettles even the strongest heart. Archangel Michael, who has never wavered in the battles of heaven, now weeps for you. His tears are not weakness, but urgency. His sorrow is not despair, but holy warning. What does heaven see that you do not? Why does the warrior angel cry when he holds the very key that can set you free? Could it be that the danger is not in what stands against you, but in what stands within you? Could it be that the hesitation of your heart carries more risk than the attack of your enemies? Listen carefully. You prayed for God to open the door. You pleaded for an answer. You cried for a sign. And now the key is extended. The door is unlocked, but your soul trembles, uncertain whether to step forward. That trembling is the very battlefield of this moment. Heaven has given the access, but you must choose to trust. Heaven has answered, but you must silence the voices that sow doubt. Michael's tears testify the cost of delay, because delay does not pause destiny, it pushes it further away. You stand on the edge of something greater than you imagine. The unrest in your spirit is proof. The opposition around you is confirmation. The weight in this moment is heaven's way of pulling you into alignment. Do not brush it away. Do not numb it with distraction. Do not tell yourself maybe later. Later is the language of loss. Now is the command of heaven. Michael is not weeping because you are weak, but because heaven knows the danger of hesitation. He knows what is coming. He sees the unseen moves of those who wait for you to give up. But he also knows the power that will be released if you step forward with faith. This is why the atmosphere feels heavy. This is why your spirit feels restless. The tears of Michael are heaven's signal that this decision carries eternal weight. This is not a casual hour. This is not a simple choice. This is the very moment your breakthrough stands before you, and heaven watches to see if you will open your hand and take the key. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 7777 is now surrounding you. Beloved, if this word is reaching into your spirit, then you already know this is more than a message. It is a mission from heaven. Every seed sown into this work helps carry God's voice to more souls who are desperate for breakthrough. When you give, you are not giving to a platform. You are sowing into the harvest of lives that will be set free. The Word of God declares that when you plant in faith, you reap in abundance, and your seed becomes oil, fire, and manna to those still waiting for their miracle. I feel the Spirit saying, what you release will open doors in your own life. This is the hour to act prophetically, to turn your yes into a key that unlocks both your door and the doors of others. You can release your gift through Super Thanks, membership, or directly through PayPal. The link is in the description below. Heaven blesses every hand that sows, and I declare over you, your giving will not return void. Step into this anointed exchange today. Hear this truth with clarity. The hesitation you feel is not random. It is not weakness of your mind, and it is not simply human doubt. It is warfare. It is a battle unfolding in the unseen realms, and you are standing in the center of it. The moment you cried out for God to open a door, heaven dispatched an answer. The very instant your tears touched the ground, heaven's armies moved. The enemy saw it, the enemy recognized it, and the enemy trembled, because once heaven unlocks a door, no power in hell can lock it again. But the enemy knows something dangerous. If he cannot lock the door, he will try to convince you not to walk through it. This is why the weight feels unbearable at times. This is why doubt seems louder now than it ever has before. This is why you sense resistance even when you know heaven has answered. You are chosen, and that is why the resistance feels heavier. Do you not realize that those who are not marked for greater assignments do not face such opposition? The ones who carry destiny, the ones who carry fire, the ones who carry heaven's authority, they are the ones who feel the sharpest winds, the fiercest battles, the strongest pull of delay. Your struggle is not evidence of abandonment. It is evidence of your anointing. The enemy cannot destroy what heaven has sealed. He can't steal what Michael has been sent to guard. But he can whisper lies. He can magnify fear. He can tempt you into self-sabotage. The weapon he wields is not a sword against your body, but a whisper against your mind. You're not ready. This isn't for you. What if you fail? What if you misheard? And in those whispers, the enemy hopes you will delay. Because delay is not neutral. Delay is a silent agreement with defeat. Delay is the surrender of momentum. Delay is stepping back when heaven has called you forward. But listen, heaven is watching. The throne has leaned forward. The scroll of your destiny is open, and angels surround, waiting for your next step. This is not a casual season. This is a holy test. Will you obey, or will you delay? Will you trust heaven's timing, or will you retreat into fear? Heaven has granted you the key. Michael has placed it in your hand, but your hand must turn it. The weight of this moment is real, for every delay shifts outcomes, every hesitation reshapes futures. Understand this deeply. The tears of Michael are not weakness. They are witness. They testify of heaven's grief when chosen ones pause at the threshold of promise. They reveal how serious this moment is. The unseen realms know that your choice carries ripple effects far beyond you. Entire destinies, generational blessings, divine assignments, all are tied to whether you walk through this door or walk away. That is why the conflict feels so intense. That is why the air feels heavy. That is why every voice of doubt rises louder now. But you are not abandoned in this fight. You are surrounded. You are covered. Michael himself fights for you, even as he waits for your courage to rise. The Spirit of God strengthens you in this hour, urging you to silence hesitation and step forward in obedience. Heaven is not against you. Heaven is for you. Heaven is watching to see if you will trust the one who heard your prayer and placed the key before you. Do not let the whispers steal what was meant to be yours. Do not let delay rob the door that has already been opened. The test is here, and heaven waits for your answer. Type "I will obey" in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 1919 is now over your life. Hear me with urgency, for heaven has made this hour weighty. Within 72 hours, a moment of decision will present itself before you. It will not look like thunder. It will not come clothed in obvious lightning. It may even appear ordinary, wrapped in the garments of daily life. Yet it will carry eternal weight, for it is the point of alignment heaven has marked. Heaven has already shifted the pieces. The stage is already set. But in these next 72 hours, your obedience, or your hesitation, will shape what unfolds. Unseen opposition stirs in these very moments, plotting to push you back. Forces that have studied you, watched your patterns, and whispered fear into your soul are now strategizing to make you retreat at the very threshold of your door. They cannot steal what God has released. They cannot shut what God has opened. But they can surround you with distractions, with counterfeit voices, with sudden discouragements designed to make you believe the promise is delayed, or worse, denied. Do not be deceived. The storm you feel is not a sign of absence, it is a sign of nearness. The closer you are to the threshold, the fiercer the resistance becomes. And here lies the mystery. Heaven has already gone ahead of you. Even now, as opposition schemes, heaven has prepared your defense. Every move of darkness is already countered by a greater move of light. Every whisper of fear is already silenced by the word of God. Every plot against you is already overturned by the authority of Christ. Yet heaven requires your participation. You cannot stand passive at the edge of destiny and expect heaven to drag you forward. You must step. You must choose. You must declare with faith, "This is my moment." Understand this well. Delay carries cost. The longer you stand outside the open door, the more ground the enemy takes in your mind. The longer you wait, the heavier hesitation grows. Every moment of silence and fear creates another opportunity for doubt to sink deeper into your spirit. That is why Michael weeps. That is why the heavens cry out with urgency. Because while the door remains open, your delay in walking through it increases the weight of the battle. Heaven knows that a delayed step today can shift the alignment of tomorrow. You cannot treat this lightly. You cannot shrug and say, perhaps later. There is no later. The word of the Lord has gone forth. The next 72 hours will carry weight. The enemy is pressing, but heaven is greater. The opposition is stirring, but the armies of God are already surrounding you. The question is not whether the door is open. The question is whether you will move. If you hesitate, you allow the whispers of fear to linger. If you obey, you silence them forever. This is the moment where your courage must rise. This is the hour where your faith must answer. Heaven has armed you, Michael has guarded you, and the Spirit has empowered you. The door stands open, and the countdown has already begun. Within 72 hours, you will face the decision point, and heaven is watching to see if you will seize what is already yours. Delay no longer. Step boldly, for the key has been given, the way is clear, and your destiny demands action now. Type "I will not delay" in the comments if this message is for you. Blessing code 2323 has now been released over your path. Be still now, for the Spirit of God says, you are not walking into this moment uncovered. Archangel Michael is not only holding the key, he is also drawing his sword. His wings spread wide, his stance unshakable, and his assignment is clear: to guard you as you stand before this open door. You may feel surrounded by resistance, but do not forget that heaven's army surrounds your enemies. You may sense the whispers of fear pressing close, but the roar of Michael's command drowns them out in the unseen realm. You are not unguarded. You are not exposed. You are covered by divine protection. But hear this, heaven is giving you instructions to walk through this moment with wisdom. Withdraw from the noise. Pull away from the distractions. Do not allow the voices of people who cannot see what God is doing to drown out the whisper of heaven. For not everyone around you is meant to hear the sound of this door opening. Silence is your ally. Stillness is your weapon. In quietness, you will discern what others miss. In stillness, you will hear heaven's direction without distortion. You are being told to pray, not as one begging for a door to open, for the door is already open, but as one aligning with the courage to walk through it. Pray with authority. Pray with stillness. Pray with expectation. Your words in this hour are not to convince heaven to act, but to convince your heart to move. Do not speak prematurely. Do not announce your breakthrough before heaven instructs you to. Loose lips can lock doors. Speaking out of season can expose what heaven intended to keep hidden until the moment of release. Heaven says, you are shielded. You are guarded. You are unseen by those who plot against you. Even now, Michael's presence is cloaking your next move from the eyes of those who desire your downfall. The schemes formed against you cannot see the full picture. The conversation spoken in secret cannot trace the path heaven has set before you. You walk hidden under the shadow of the Almighty, and no trap will succeed against you. Take courage in this. Your protection is not fragile. Your shield is not weak. It is not human strength guarding you. It is divine covering. The blood of Christ has sealed you. The command of heaven surrounds you, and the hand of Michael blocks every arrow sent against you. Though the opposition stirs, though whispers rise, though plots form, they will not prosper. Heaven has already decreed your safety. But you must remain obedient to the instruction. Withdraw. Be silent. Listen closely. This is not a season to scatter your energy, but to focus it in prayer. This is not a time to boast of what heaven is doing, but to treasure it until the moment of manifestation. Your stillness in this hour will be the force that carries you safely across the threshold. Silence will protect your promise until the moment it blooms. So I say to you with urgency, do not fear. Do not waver. Michael is fighting for you. Heaven is shielding you. God has wrapped you in divine covering, and the only step required of you now is to stay aligned with His instructions. Withdraw. Pray. Be still. The protection you need has already been secured, and no force in heaven or hell can overturn what God has set in motion. Type "I am shielded" in the comments if you believe this word. Blessing code 8888 is surrounding your life. Listen closely, for the Spirit of God is shifting the atmosphere now. Up until this point, you have been pressed under the weight of hesitation, under the heaviness of fear, under the constant pull of unseen resistance. But this was not meant to crush you. It was meant to reveal the power that already dwells inside of you. You are not weak. You are not fragile. You are not forgotten. You are being tested, refined, and prepared for strength. The very fire you thought would consume you is the fire that is forging you into gold. Heaven has not abandoned you. Heaven is elevating you. The hesitation you feel is not your end. It is your refining. Just as silver is purified in flames and gold is tested in fire, your spirit is being purified of fear, doubt, and delay. This is not punishment. It is transformation. The longer you linger in this holy tension, the more heaven strips away the weights that once held you back. What felt like weakness is becoming strength. What felt like resistance is becoming fuel. What felt like delay is becoming acceleration. Heaven is burning away the hesitation that has kept you chained, so you may rise into the fullness of your calling. Hear the imagery of heaven. You are like wings that have been bound, straining to lift. But now the cords are snapping one by one, and the Spirit says, spread them. You are like a flame that was smothered by shadows, but now the breath of heaven is blowing, and the fire is leaping higher. You are like a seed pressed into dark soil, hidden and unseen, yet breaking open so that life can burst forth. Everything in you that once felt buried is about to emerge stronger, brighter, unshakable. This is not the season of hiding. This is the season of rising. The key in Michael's hand is more than just access. It is not only the answer to your prayer for an open door, it is the seal of heaven's trust. Heaven would not hand you this key if you were not ready. Heaven would not entrust you with access if you were not equipped to steward it. The very fact that Michael stands before you with this divine key is proof that God sees in you what you cannot yet see in yourself. Heaven does not waste authority. Heaven does not release power into the unprepared. This key is evidence that you are prepared, refined, and chosen. Do not call yourself weak any longer. Do not shrink back and say, I am not enough. The fire you walked through was not to break you, but to prove you. The waiting you endured was not punishment, but preparation. The tears you cried were not in vain. They watered the ground where your destiny now blooms. The very storms that threatened to destroy you have only revealed the strength heaven has placed within you. You are no longer the one begging outside the door. You are the one who carries the key. Rise now into empowerment. Lift your head. Straighten your back. Walk forward knowing that the hesitation is broken, the fear is silenced, and the strength of heaven pulses through your spirit. The shift has already begun. The empowerment is already flowing. You are stepping into your identity not as a beggar, but as an heir. Not as one waiting, but as one chosen. Heaven has declared you ready, and the proof is in your hand. The key is yours, and the door is open. Type "I am empowered" in the comments if this word is for you. Blessing code 3030 is now active over your destiny. Hear the unveiling now, for the Spirit says this trial has never been only about a single door. It has always been about preparation for a lifetime of access. What you see before you is not a mere answer to prayer. It is the testing ground of your readiness for assignments beyond what your eyes can yet perceive. The open door you have begged for is real, but it is also prophetic of many more doors that will follow. This moment is a mirror reflecting whether you are willing to walk into greater authority, greater calling, and greater destiny. Heaven is asking, can you be trusted with this key? The reason heaven delayed is not because your prayer was unheard, but because heaven was testing the soil of your heart. Were you ready to carry what you were asking for? Could you be trusted with what others have mishandled? Could you walk through the threshold not only for yourself, but for those tied to your obedience? This trial was never punishment. It was proof. It was a refining fire to reveal the depth of your faith, the strength of your courage, and the purity of your desire for God above the blessing. And now, with the key extended in Michael's hand, heaven has declared you ready. But understand the tears of Michael. They are not tears of despair, nor are they weakness. They are tears of urgency. For heaven knows what rests beyond this door is too weighty to miss. Heaven knows that the cost of hesitation is not small, but eternal. Heaven knows that you cannot afford to linger at the threshold when destiny itself is pulling you forward. Michael weeps not because you are failing, but because heaven longs for you to grasp the immensity of what is at stake. The blessing is too great. The release is too significant. The assignment is too heavy for you to let it slip away. Hear this prophetic revelation. God knows you by name. Heaven's records bear your cries, your prayers, your late-night whispers when no one else saw your tears. This message is not general. It is not scattered to the wind. It is precise, a direct address from heaven to your heart. The Lord himself says, I have seen your secret petitions. I have weighed your tears. I have stored your prayers in my book, and I have chosen you for this moment. You are not one among many. You are the one heaven is speaking to now. This door is not random. It is not common. It is strategic, it is divine, and it is the forerunner of many. Walking through this threshold does not simply answer a prayer. It positions you for a lifetime of divine access. It aligns you with assignments far greater than you imagine. The key you now hold is the sign of heaven's trust, the signal that you are being invited into levels of influence, calling, and breakthrough that will shake not only your life, but the lives connected to you. Heaven's urgency is clear. Delay no longer. The time of testing has ended, and the time of release has come. Michael weeps because heaven sees your destiny waiting, and all creation holds its breath for your obedience. The revelation has been released. This is your moment, and heaven has declared you ready. Type I receive in the comments if you know this word is yours. Blessing code 4444 is now resting on your life. Beloved, as you feel the weight of this revelation, I invite you to see how God is not only unlocking doors for you, but using this message to unlock doors for countless others. Every time you sow into this mission, whether through super thanks, membership, or a direct gift through PayPal in the description, you are planting seeds that ripple across souls, releasing light where there was darkness and fire where there was illness. Scripture says the one who sows will also reap, and the Lord declares over you, Your gift becomes the oil that keeps the lamp burning for those still searching for me. When you act, your giving becomes a prophetic act. It speaks louder than words and multiplies into harvest. Do not delay in this moment. Heaven sees your generosity as worshipped, and I declare a fresh anointing over every hand that sows into this word. Move now, for heaven honors your obedience. The moment has come when hesitation must break, when silence must turn into a declaration, and when destiny must be activated. Heaven is no longer whispering, it is thundering. The Spirit of God is crying out, "Say yes to me and step through the door I have opened for you." This is not a season of passivity. This is not a time for delayed obedience. This is the very moment when heaven waits for your response, and your response alone will determine how this door functions for you. Heaven has already turned the lock, Michael has already released the key, and now all of creation leans forward to hear your answer. You must declare your yes. You must stand and proclaim, "I am ready, Lord. I will walk through." For your alignment with heaven is not secured by thought alone. It requires the sound of agreement, the action of obedience. Every time you remain silent in fear, hesitation strengthens. But every time you declare, "Yes, Lord," the enemy's whispers are shattered like glass. Heaven has already poured the oil of release, but heaven waits for the sound of your response. Do not underestimate the power of your yes, for it carries weight not only for your own life, but for generations tied to your obedience. Heaven has decreed, this door is not only about you. Behind your breakthrough lies provision for others. Behind your obedience lies freedom for those connected to your destiny. You may think you are stepping through this door for your own prayers, but the Spirit reveals, this door carries generational impact. Families will be touched. Futures will be rewritten. Legacies will be shifted because of your decision to act in this moment. That is why hesitation feels so heavy, because what rests on the other side of this threshold is far greater than you alone. Do not delay. To hesitate is to agree with the spirit of delay. To linger is to give the enemy time he does not deserve. Heaven is not neutral in this moment. The key has been extended, and heaven waits for you to move. Even if your knees tremble, even if your voice shakes, take the step. Faith is not the absence of fear. It is moving in obedience despite it. Boldness does not mean you feel strong. It means you trust the one who strengthens you. Your trembling yes is still powerful enough to activate heaven's release. Now hear this prophetic decree. The moment you declare your yes, doors will swing wide. Chains will shatter. Delays will break. Hidden provision will be revealed. Align yourself with heaven and watch as the earth shifts to accommodate the will of God. Your yes unlocks the sequence. Your obedience pulls the lever in the spirit. Your decision turns the key Michael has handed you. Heaven has placed destiny in your hands, but it will not move without your response. So rise now. Declare it boldly. Act as though the promise is already yours, because it is. Heaven has opened it, Michael has delivered it, and God has chosen you for it. Say yes, and let your destiny be activated in this very hour. Type "Why Yes, Lord" in the comments if you are ready to step into destiny. Blessing code 5151 is being released over your life. Beloved, hear this sacred truth. While you have been wrestling with hesitation on earth, a silent exchange has already been taking place in the spirit realm. You thought your prayers were small. You thought your cries were unnoticed, but heaven has been recording every single word. While your voice trembled in the midnight hour, angels stood as witnesses. While you wept in silence, heaven gathered your tears as evidence. And while you waited, thinking nothing was shifting, Archangel Michael was already moving, negotiating, and clearing the path before you. This key that now rests in your grasp is not an afterthought. It is not an accident. It is the result of transactions that have been taking place beyond your sight. Every time you prayed, heaven documented it. Every time you fasted, heaven honored it. Every time you chose faith when fear was screaming, heaven stored it as currency. And now the exchange is complete. The delay has been broken. The opposition has been overruled, and what was withheld is now being released. The key you see is not only for access, it is the receipt of heaven's covenant with you. Do not think for a moment that this exchange was easy. Do not imagine that the opposition released without resistance. The unseen battle was fierce. The watchers who sought to block you argued against your advancement. They brought forth accusations. They whispered lies into the courts of heaven, but they were silenced by the blood of the Lamb. Michael himself stood as defender, declaring your name, lifting your case, and standing guard over the promises written concerning you. The verdict has already been given. The door is open, and you are cleared to walk through. You may wonder why your spirit feels both heavy and alive at the same time. It is because deep within you, your spirit has already sensed what your mind struggles to grasp. Your spirit knows the exchange has already taken place. That's why you have felt sudden waves of hope rising even in moments of despair. That's why you've seen glimpses of breakthrough in your dreams. That's why the atmosphere around you has shifted, even if nothing in the natural looks different yet. Your spirit has already celebrated the release, while your body waits to catch up. The beauty of this moment is that nothing was lost. Even the years you thought wasted, even the seasons that felt stolen, even the prayers that seemed unanswered, all of it has been folded back into this divine exchange. The blessing is not only returning, it is circling back with multiplication. What the enemy thought he delayed forever is now rushing toward you with force. What was withheld has been accelerated. What was locked away has been released in full. You will not walk through this door empty-handed. You will step through carrying double for every year you thought wasted. Take courage, beloved, for the silent exchange is finished, and the key in your hand is proof of heaven's verdict. While you waited, Michael moved. While you cried, heaven wrote. While you prayed, the Spirit recorded. Now the court of heaven has ruled in your favor, and no power in hell can reverse it. Walk boldly, for you walk not as a beggar, but as one who carries heaven's receipt in your hand. Type IT is done in the comments if this word confirms your spirit. Blessing code 6060 is now sealed over your destiny. Hear the word of the Lord. Justice is moving in your favor. The battle you have endured was never only about delay. It was about the scales of heaven tipping toward reversal. What the enemy sought to use against you has now become the very setup for your elevation. Every plot, every whisper, every strategy meant to push you into retreat has been exposed before the throne, and heaven has decreed reversal. What the adversary meant for evil, God has already turned for good. This is not just restoration. This is divine justice. For too long, the enemy believed he could stall you, confuse you, and frustrate the timing of your breakthrough. He believed his whispers could convince you to lay down the key. He believed his delays could blind you to the open door. But he underestimated the one who holds the scales of justice in his hands. The enemy cannot stop what God has sealed. He cannot overturn what heaven has decreed. He cannot hold what Michael guards. The very hands that tried to push you back will will now be forced to witness the doors swing open before you. This is the hour of reversal. The silence of your waiting has become the trumpet of your vindication. The tears you thought were forgotten are now pouring out as rivers of reward. The prayers you thought unanswered are now rising as fire against the camp of the enemy. Heaven declares, the season of loss is over. The years of delay are overturned. The scales have tipped and favor is released. Justice is not coming slowly. It is rushing like a flood. And when it comes, it will not only restore what was stolen, it will multiply it. Mark this. Those who doubted you, those who mocked your faith, those who whispered that your prayers were wasted, they will see the doors open that no man can shut. They will witness what heaven has reserved for you. The very ones who counted you out will be forced to acknowledge that the hand of the Lord has marked you. And you will walk in a testimony so undeniable that even your enemies will know heaven fought for you and heaven won. The presence of Archangel Michael in this season is not small. His assignment is a signal that victory is already sealed. Michael does not guard what will fail. Michael does not carry keys for doors that will remain closed. His very presence is proof that heaven's decree has already been written. You will rise. You will walk through. You will not be denied. This is the reversal, and this is the justice of God. Take courage now. The tables are turning in your favor. The scales of heaven are heavy with blessing, and they have tipped toward you. The door is not only open, it is guarded by the might of heaven's army. Justice has spoken. Favor has been decreed. Reversal is here. Step forward knowing that you are not only stepping into a breakthrough, you are stepping into vindication. Heaven has ruled in your favor, and no power can contest it. Type "Justice is mine" in the comments if this word is for you. Blessing code 7171 has been loosed over your life. Now the message comes to its final echo, and heaven's charge is clear. The key has been handed to you. The door already stands open, and the tears of Michael testify of the urgency of this hour. You are no longer waiting for access. The access is yours. You are no longer pleading for permission. The permission has been granted. What you do in this moment will determine the shape of your future, for heaven will not force you through, but heaven has made the way ready. Beloved, hear this blessing. You are covered, chosen, and sealed. The blood of Jesus Christ covers your steps, the shield of heaven guards your path, and the Spirit Himself has declared that no force can stand against the decree written over your life. Every fear is silenced. Every hesitation is broken. Every whisper of delay has been overturned by the roar of heaven's command. You are not walking into uncertainty. You are walking into destiny. You are not stepping into risk. You are stepping into the fulfillment of what God already prepared for you. So rise now with courage. Walk boldly. Let your hand turn the key, and let your feet cross the threshold. This is not the time for retreat. This is not the hour for waiting. This is the moment heaven has orchestrated, the hour heaven has aligned, the breakthrough heaven has decreed. You are empowered. You are protected. You are released. The open door is waiting, and heaven waits no longer. Step through, and let your destiny begin. Type "I am ready" in the comments if you receive this closing blessing. Blessing code 9999 is now upon you. As this prophetic word seals over your life, I invite you to take part in the divine flow by sowing into the very work that carries heaven's voice to the nations. Your giving is not charity. It is a prophetic act that multiplies light across countless souls still crying out for breakthrough. Scripture says that those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed, and the Lord is saying, even now, what you release for others, I will multiply back into your own life. Beloved, when you support through super thanks, through membership, or through PayPal in the description, you are fueling the harvest of souls. This is not about a platform. It is about heaven's mission. Your seed becomes the oil that keeps the fire burning, the manna that feeds the hungry, the river that carries hope into barren lands. Do not hesitate, for this too is a door of obedience. Step into it, and I declare your giving will activate blessings pressed down, shaken together, and running over.